Sup guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here today, and I'm back with another video. Today I want to talk about the Super Saiyan Multipliers and why they kind of don't make sense. Now the Super Saiyan Multipliers, they've been around forever. It's been quite common and well known by people, but for me personally, I've always felt like the Super Saiyan Multipliers, especially Super Saiyan 2 and 3, were kind of incorrect. And the reason why I feel that way is I feel like Super Saiyan 2 and 3's multiplier are far too small. I mean, Super Saiyan 1's isn't too bad, but there is some, discussion to be had about it. Now, before I get into it, let's talk about what are the multipliers. Now, Super Saiyan 1 is stated to be 50 times 50 times base. Super Saiyan 2 is stated to be 100 times base, which is 2 times Super Saiyan 1. And Super Saiyan 3 is stated to be 400 times a base, or equivalent to 4 times Super Saiyan 2. Basically meaning once Goku goes into Super Saiyan 1, he becomes 50 times stronger, then he goes to Super Saiyan 2, he becomes twice as strong, and then Super Saiyan 3, 3 times as strong, 4 times as strong. And basically meaning Goku from base to Super Saiyan 3 would be 400 times power increase, which does sound like a lot, but if you think about it, the feats and the stuff they were able to accomplish, and the battles and the power, consistently how high the power went up, it doesn't make much sense the power level, the multipliers would be that low, especially for 2 and 3. And I'm going to get into why I think that. Now, Super Saiyan 1, like I said, it is good for the most part because it makes sense, and there is argument of proof for it, but there is one thing that does make it a little more complex. Now, Super Saiyan 1, the 50 times multiplier, the reason why it makes sense is because in the Frieza saga, when Goku was fighting against Frieza, he had a power level around 3 million, and I think Frieza, I forgot, he had like around 12 million or something like that in just his 1% form, but he had 3 million, and when he went Super Saiyan, he got a 50 times boost. And we know this because his power level went from 3 million to 150 million, and Frieza's max was 120 million, which gave him the edge. And that made sense, though there was a little bit of discourse. I heard that Toriyama himself, by Geekdom 101, and I think a couple other YouTubers, Dragon Ball YouTubers, had said that Toriyama was actually technically planning to make Super Saiyan 1 multiplier weaker. He was going to make around times 10, which I don't think that makes any sense. Either it's completely wrong, or Toriyama was being an idiot, because if you know anything, you would know that that wouldn't make sense for the simple fact that he has forms and abilities where he's gone times 10. It would make no sense that Super Saiyan would be times 10. I mean, the Great Ape form literally gives you a 10 times multiplier. So what would be the point of Super Saiyan? If Super Saiyan was only a 10 times increase in power, then why the hell would he use it? Why would he not just use the Zara form? Why would Super Saiyan be so unique? Also, he could go Kaioken times 20, so it made no sense that it would be 50. Maybe people are just getting it wrong, or maybe Toriyama was being dumb, because if he did make it times 10, it wouldn't have made any sense. So there's that. The other thing about Super Saiyan 1 is, yes, it makes sense with the power levels, and I know people, they have a problem with power levels. They like his bullshit, whatever. Personally, I don't consider power levels and I don't take it seriously either, but the math checks out there, so there's no real problem there. But I do think it becomes a little bit more of a, a little more complex when you realize the fact that Super Saiyan does change quite a bit throughout the Cell Saga. I mean, they go from Super Saiyan form to Ascended Super Saiyan to Ultra Super Saiyan, and then Mastered Super Saiyan, and then we get Super Saiyan 2, which at that time was considered grade 5. Now, the way the Super Saiyan transformations went from was there were different grades. There was Super Saiyan 1, which was, I guess, considered grade 1, and then there was Super Saiyan 2, which was Ascended Super Saiyan, which was considered grade 2, Ultra Saiyan, which Trunks only had and shown in a fight, which is also dubbed by the fans, was considered grade 3, and Super Saiyan, Master Super Saiyan was considered grade 4, and then Super Saiyan 2 grade 5, and then they changed it to just Super Saiyan 1 and 2, because those other two forms kind of became useless. Now, why does that change the, the multiplier of Super Saiyan? Well, it changes it because at first they had an incomplete form of Super Saiyan where it cost a lot of energy, but then once they mastered the energy control, they got Master Super Saiyan, which is a higher form of it, and it's, like I said, in the official guidebooks, is considered grade 4. So technically, it would be considered above regular Super Saiyan, because Super Saiyan would be a grade 1, and it was above those other two. Now, some people say, for argument's sake, they say, well, technically, when Goku was suggesting this to Gohan and training with him to obtain this, it wasn't to, get stronger. It was the fact that he felt that, yes, those other forms were stronger, but they consumed quite a bit of energy, especially the Ultra form. It not only consumed energy, but it was bulkier and sort of slower, and they consumed too much energy, so he thought maybe it would be best to, conserve it and control it, and that way you can just use regular Super Saiyan form. But to me, it's like using regular Super Saiyan form will not give you a significant enough of a power boost to win in a fight. Just controlling it might give you a great advantage with Super Saiyan and a far better chance fighting with Super Saiyan. But are you going to tell me that it's far better in a fight than grade 2 and 3? I highly doubt it. Now, some people try to argue, well, the reason Goku and Gohan were able to push that much power out of Cell was simply because, Cell, what's the thing called? They said the reason why they were able to bring it out of Cell was due to the fact that when Goku and Gohan went in there, their base level power got stronger and higher. So they multiplied their base power, that with going on Super Saiyan, just added onto it. Which would make sense, except for the fact that both Trunks and Vegeta also went to the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, also got their base stats multiplied, and had those other forms and still lost. Vegeta got completely bodied, and Trunks' case is a little different, since the reason why Trunks lost was not because he was weaker than Cell. It was stated even by Cell that he was technically stronger than him, though Cell could get stronger by doing the same thing like he did against Gohan. But it was not the strength that was the problem, it was the speed, and that's what he used against him. Whereas Vegeta, his ascended form, it does not actually slow you down really. It does bulk you up a bit, but it doesn't slow you down. The only problem was it consumes a lot, even more energy than, the regular Super Saiyan without it being mastered, which already consumed quite a bit of energy. But he didn't lose because of energy constraint, he lost because he got destroyed. Yes, he could have obliterated Cell possibly with his Final Flash, but Cell wasn't using his full power, and he was kind of taking it nonchalantly, and that's why he did that. If he was embracing from the get-go, he could have tanked it. I mean, we saw what Cell Juniors did. They caught one, and then they just flicked it away like it was nothing. So he could definitely do that. It was just that he was being too arrogant and stupid and allowing him to attack him, and he wasn't putting his guard up enough. But yeah, I can see, like I said, that point, but still, they were, especially at least ascended form, the power increases, but the speed should not even decrease, and even if it does, it should be a very small amount. It's not like Cell beat him because he was too slow. It's Cell beat him because he was just too powerful for him, and Trunks, he was just too slow. So yeah, I don't agree with that argument, so that even if they did multiply, I think it would be more reasonable that the Super Saiyan transformation in Master State has a higher multiplier than base, or the original. I know a lot of people say, well, it's not, and there's no official data books that said they did, but from what we see, it's not. It didn't seem like just that he got stronger, they got stronger in base and they controlled their ki and their Super Saiyan form, that's why they're able to handle it. It seems like the multiplier itself went higher. So I'm pretty sure, I believe that Super Saiyan's multiplier compared to Master Super Saiyan's multiplier are two different things. There's a reason why there's a difference, and there's a reason why I put it as grade 4. Because if it wasn't, because like I said, the Ascended form and the Ultra form are grade 2 and 3. How is this a grade above them if it's just the first one just controlled? Shouldn't it just be controlled Super Saiyan 1? So it kind of leads me to believe that it's not. Super Saiyan 2 and 3, this is where the power scaling I feel like is completely doesn't make any sense. Super Saiyan 2, I think 2 times multiplier is weak. Let's think about it. Getting 2 times stronger to us is very powerful, but in Dragon Ball that's nothing. We've seen how powerful these guys characters have gotten through training. We've seen Goku and all these other characters to get stronger to train. They've been able to multiply their power way past 2 times. So now we have a transformation that's supposed to be ridiculously OP, and it only multiplies the power by twice. It doesn't make sense. And I have a bit of a theory for why they say it's that and why I think it's higher, but the numbers is correct. But yeah, I mean, also the way he was bodying Cell. Yes, was Cell. You guys can argue maybe Cell wasn't that much more stronger than Gohan. But remember, Cell was using only half of his power. So if he uses full power, yes, I guess you can argue that Gohan times 2 would be stronger than him, but he was still one-shotting him. He was, with one punch, he wrecked him, and then the second punch was going to kill him, and he literally spat out 18 and digressed back to his, his second form. So he was just ridiculously OP. And I'll get into that, but let's talk about the multipliers. Now, some people might tell me this, that, are you saying that the guidebooks are wrong, the multipliers are wrong? I wouldn't say the guidebooks are exactly wrong or the multipliers are wrong. I just think that they didn't I don't think that there's a good enough explanation for it. What I mean by that is, when your character transforms, they get a natural level of power increase or multiplier, right? But that doesn't mean that that is just how powerful they become the moment they become it. So, like, let's say Goku going Super Saiyan 1 doesn't instantly multiply his power by 50, does it? It multiplies his power, but he's able to still increase it. He can, control the range of his power in that Super Saiyan state. He can max it out or lower it. And maxing it out is basically just going to his 100% form. Now, why is this important? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think the multipliers that are given for Super Saiyan 2 and 3 are not the 100% state or the full powered state of Super Saiyan 2 and 3. They are the 1% state. Basically, what I mean is, Super Saiyan 1, when Goku goes Super Saiyan 1, his power doesn't instantly jump times 50. It increases, but the more he raises up his power, it maxes out to 50, right? So it has a base level of an increase. I think that Super Saiyan 2 and 3's multipliers are that base level. Super Saiyan 2 specifically, let's stick on that one since we're still on the Cell Saga discussion. I'll prove my point through here. We're stuck on Super Saiyan 2, right? Super Saiyan 2 times 2 multiplier. I think that is 1% of Super Saiyan 2 is that multiplier. So the initial transformation gives you a multiplier, and then you have 100% you can reach that, maxing out that transformation. So I think once Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2, he gets a 2 times multiplier, but that's only 1% of it, and he can go 100%, reaching that from 2 to 200. So I think at max, Super Saiyan 2's power level should be 200 times that of his base. And some of you guys might say, well, this is ridiculous. But remember, the power scaling was already ridiculous. The fact that we have 50 times multiplier already, it's crazy. Also, it never really made much sense to me that the first transformation had a higher multiplier than the other two. And the other two are supposed to be like, oh, crazy. Like, really? You're telling me Super Saiyan 1 has a 50 times multiplier, and then for some reason we went all the way down to 2 for Super Saiyan 2 and 4 for a 3? That seems like too much of a power decrease. And like I said, we've seen these characters reach their power up to 100 or lower. Now, some of you might argue, well, how do we know that the 2 times isn't the max 100% and the Super Saiyan transformation is, 2 divided by 100? But if that was the case, then it would be like, the initial Super Saiyan transformation or going into it would barely increase the power. You would literally have to go 100% power to get any significant amount of power boost, and even at 100%, a 2 times multiplier is not that powerful. So Super Saiyan 2 and 3 are very pathetic. Of at 100%, they're only 2 to 4 times make you 2 to 4 times more powerful. So I think there's still the levels in it. And the reason why I say this is what happened with Gohan versus Cell. I mean, first of all, like I said, Cell was using half of his power. Gohan, even at 100% Super Saiyan form, was only able to maybe draw a little bit more than half of, Perfect Cell's power. So he's only a little bit, he's stronger than a little bit of half of his power, right? He was getting still bodied by Cell when he was holding back, not even going off, okay? And so that's important. But once Gohan goes to Super Saiyan 2, he hits a one shot, destroys his body. Second shot basically makes him de-transform and severely damages him. You're telling me with only a 2 times multiplier, he was able to completely destroy this guy with 2 punches? I don't believe that. He would have to get more of a power boost than that to be doing that much damage. And like I said, Super Saiyan would be half of that. So let's do the math in that. If Cell is using half of his power and is stronger than Gohan, and he gets that he goes fully half, that means his power would multiply times 2, wouldn't it? So Cell is very stronger than Super Saiyan Gohan, and then he multiplies his he does by another 50%, which would multiply his power by 2, right? He gets it up, or at least half, 1.5. He gets it up that much, and you're telling me Gohan would either be a little bit less than him, or let's say for argument's sake, he gets a 1.5 times multiplier, since it's half 50, okay? So that means that Cell in his 100% state was only 50% stronger than Gohan, okay? He was already bodying him in less than 50 when he had only 50, okay? Now he has 100. Half of that, he gets more, okay? That makes sense. Even if by doing that math, Gohan would be above him, but how much would Gohan be above him? Gohan would be at most above him like half of Cell's power. He would be half as strong as Cell. I don't think Gohan having half the amount of power that Cell has at max should be strong enough to body him with 2 shots. I'm sorry. He was fighting against Goku, equally, and yeah, I guess you can argue maybe if he used 100% against Goku, he would have destroyed him. But I highly doubt that even if Cell used 100% of his power, his true power in his just perfect state, that he would have been 2-shotting Goku and easily take him out. Yes, he would have beat his ass a lot easier, but I don't think with a 50% increase in power, he could easily beat him like that. And in this case, Gohan would have 50% more power than him. And it's even further disproven when Cell comes back as Super Perfect Cell, which is stated and shown to be stronger than Perfect Cell. So now we have Cell at his max, who would be, 50% stronger than max Super Saiyan Gohan. Gohan got 2 times multiplier, so that means he'll be 1.5 times stronger than Cell, since that half you divided. So he'll be 1.5 times stronger than Cell. Somehow was able to, body Cell with 1.5 times the strength. He's only 1.5 times stronger than him. Cell got stronger than, his perfect form in his super form, which would have to increase his power up quite a bit. People might say, well, maybe it increased it just by, by a bit. It would have to at least be 2 times. So he comes back, and now he's fighting against Gohan. And remember, he attacked Gohan. His arm got damaged. Gohan even said, my power has dropped below half of what I had. So maybe we can argue like 48%, 47% of his original power when he was Super Saiyan 2. Now, he would be equivalent only to, what's the thing called? He would be equivalent to, or a little bit less than regular perfect, than 100% Perfect Cell. Yet when he was in the beam struggle against Super Perfect Cell, who was stronger, not only was he able to combat against his Kamehameha, but he was able to overwhelm it and destroy him. And some people might say, well, he had help with Vegeta, distract him. Yeah, but remember, Gohan was able to push back and forth pretty goddamn well, even before he got into there. And this was with him half of his power that he had. That would mean that his Super Saiyan transformation would have gave him somehow a 1-time multiplier, which doesn't make sense. That you can't, multiply something by 1 and get a higher number. You're going to get the same number. So that doesn't really make much sense in that regard. So yeah, that's where I have the problem with the Super Saiyan 2 multiplier, because he was against Cell, he was against Super Perfect Cell, who's stronger than 100% Perfect Cell, and Gohan at this point had less than half of his power left, which would make him around Perfect Cell level, just max Perfect Cell level. But now he's able to handle Super Perfect Cell and take him out. That would mean that his multiplier was even higher than that, the fact that he was able to take it out. So I do think that 100% that Gohan was simply using 1% of his power, which is times 2. Also, when you go to the grade 2 and 3 Ascended Saiyan, then it's like, where would you put the multipliers for the Ascended Saiyan and that? Because you can barely go down underneath 2. Unless you're saying that Ascended Saiyan has the same multiplier as, Super Saiyan 2, just the energy problems and the muscle problem. And Ascended Super Saiyan is 1.5 times stronger than Super Saiyan, or a 50% increase, which I don't know why a 50% increase. It would be a lot for us humans, but for these characters that are naturally we see these characters getting 10 times stronger. I mean, like Goku, look at him, how strong he got from, the beginning of the Saiyan Saga to the end of it. He got 10 times stronger from training. He went to Namek, got another 10 times, then he got even more and more and more. But now we're getting to the Cell side where they should get even more ridiculously powerful, and we're getting small multiplications like 1.5 times, 2 times, maybe 3 times, 50%. I just don't feel like it makes much sense. I think it makes more logical sense that they were using 1% and going 100% they can use more. Just like Frieza in 1% was 12 million, and once when it goes to 100 gets to 100 million, 120 million, or no, it wasn't 12 million. I don't know, but he gets it fully like that. I think that's what it should do. It makes more sense for it to be 200. That way, the official guidebooks aren't wrong. They did get the multipliers correct for the transformation itself, but not the full powered state. The initial transformation is times 2 and times 4, but when you go to like 100% state, it will be times that by 100, which would make Super Saiyan 2 times 200, and Super Saiyan 3 times 400, which makes the power scaling a lot more impressive and more up higher. Especially since these characters, we've seen them get times 10 easily. And then Super Saiyan 3, it's supposed to be astronomically way further. I mean, we had Boo. Even Fat Boo could handle 2 Super Saiyans by himself. If Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta fought and tried to jump Boo, Boo would have beat their ass. And at this time, even I know Goku is stronger than Vegeta, but with the Majin form, they were equal. If you really think that Majin Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2 Goku working together could beat Fat Boo, you're completely wrong. So both of them in that form working together would not beat Fat Boo, but Goku going Super Saiyan alone, Super Saiyan 3 alone could beat him. And it's only supposed to be times 4 times multiplier. How does it get that much to these 2 Super Saiyans who have, equivalent of power be getting bodied by him, but then this guy only gets 4 times stronger? It doesn't really make much sense. And that's only Super Saiyan, and that's Fat Boo. We get Kid Boo later on, who easily bodies Fat Boo. We saw how much stronger he was than him. And Super Saiyan 3 Goku, though I don't think he could have beat Kid Boo like a lot of people think, or like Goku's stead, I think he was kind of over-exaggerating his power. I still do think that Kid Boo, he could have gave him a challenge and still been more of an equal to him. So a Fat Boo can take on 2 Super Saiyans easily by himself, and Kid Boo's stronger than him, and Goku Super Saiyan 3 was bodying Fat Boo, but would be struggling against Kid Boo, but also matching up with against him, who's far significantly stronger. Shouldn't his multiplier be more than times 4? Also, personally, it's just my personal problem. I just don't like the fact that it's times 2 and 4. I think they should have done that. I think they should have done the initial Super Saiyan transformation times 50, the Master Super Saiyan transformation times that by 2, so make Master Super Saiyan times 100, have Super Saiyan 2, the initial transformation be times 2, which is the 1% power state, 100% power state 200, Super Saiyan 3, 100% power state, initial power transformation state times 4, which is 1%, and then 100% times 4. So in my mind, the calculation should be 50 times regular Super Saiyan, 100 times what's the thing called? 100 or a little more than that times Mastered Super Saiyan, 200 Max Super Saiyan 2, and 400 Max Super Saiyan 3. But yeah, I could be wrong. It's just what I got from the calculations I've been thinking about for quite a bit. If you guys disagree, feel free to say why I might be wrong. I could definitely see why I could be wrong in this case. But yeah, I just feel like the power levels and the multipliers were far too little, especially due to the fact that we've seen these characters like Goku and Vegeta obtain a significantly more higher power boost and multipliers by just simply training and not even going through the transformations. So it kind of make these transformations null and void. And it's not like Dragon Ball's against having insane power boost. I mean, look at how strong Goku got from the beginning of the the end of the Saiyan saga to the end of the Frieza saga. Goku at the end of the Saiyan saga to the end of the Frieza saga got hundreds of thousands of times more powerful, and guess what? That was all the time frame from the end of what's the thing called? The time frame from the end of the Saiyan saga to the Frieza saga didn't even last a whole year. Hell, I think it lasted like a month or so. It lasted sorry for that, guys. My memory card kind of got full, so it stopped right there. I had to finish doing some stuff, and then so I can free up the space off of my memory drive. But yeah, all I wanted to say towards the end of that was basically, if you guys agree with me, we can have a conversation about it. If you guys disagree with me, we can also have a conversation. Give out your opinions on the multipliers of the Super Saiyan multipliers yourself. Do you guys think that the Super Saiyan multipliers are good, or do you think it's just too small? Because, like I said, for me personally, I think that the Super Saiyan multipliers for me are kind of just too little for them to get any significant of a power boost, especially how powerful the Dragon Ball characters are supposed to be. For them to get a 2 times or a 4 times power boost and act like it's something significant, it doesn't really make much sense. That's all I really had to say about that. Basically, this is just a theory I've always had in my head. It could be completely not true, but I just think that when you look at the evidence, it makes more sense for it to be more powerful than what was shown. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy, and see you tomorrow.